Go to the IMs. Val for Hope. Love your show. How can we petition President to pardon Snowden, Assange, and Chelsea Manning? Well, Assange, apparently there's been some movement in Denmark. Is that right? Or Sweden, rather? I mean, Swedish officials? I don't know.
Yeah, there was movement. And then the thing that's going around, I just saw it literally 5 minutes ago on Twitter, but it's a great new push on the Snowden angle, which is give Snowden the same plea deal that they gave Petraeus for leaking secrets.
Right,
No
exactly.
prison time. It's great.
Right, of course.
I love that angle.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I just don't think it's going to happen, frankly. There is just too much. There is too much, I think, invested in the national security state to allow this. And sadly, in many respects, like, you know, the moment for reform following Snowden seems to have passed without any implications. Now, later today, I'm going to be doing an interview. I don't know that it'll be very long because he has literally limited time to do it, but I'm going to be interviewing Barrett Brown from prison. And I think some of you will recall, I did a fundraiser for Jeremy Hammond and Barrett Brown for their defense. Jeremy Hammond was a guy who did the Stratfor hack, I guess, and then leak. Stratfor was this private defense consulting firm. And they had talked about or had pitched to the U.S. government, it's unclear how far this went, the idea that they would basically do some type of psyops against journalists who were on the national security beat, on, guys like Greg Greenwald before even the Snowden stuff. Barrett Brown is serving a 63-month prison term. And it's very complicated. There was a plea deal, but essentially, much of the time in which he is serving is a function of supposedly being an accessory to after the fact of this Stratfor leak because he reposted a link to the documents. And from my perspective, it's clear to me, and I'm going to ask him for his perspective on it, that it was part of the Department of Justice and sort of maybe the broader national security apparatus looking for people who could be made examples of. Barrett Brown was not doing the same stuff that Aaron Swartz was doing, but I think from the U.S. government's perspective, we're going to stomp out all of it. So how does a guy who, if he committed a crime, think about that crime in terms of there's no violence involved. I think people who are familiar with the case know that at one point he went on and made a YouTube video that was vaguely, offhandedly, supposedly a threat to the FBI agents who were harassing his mom. But even in the plea deal, even in the sentencing, the government didn't even use that. So they made it quite clear what they were sentencing him for. And, I'll talk to him more about that this afternoon, and we'll play it over the next, I guess sometime next week. And I don't know how long it'll be. I don't know that he gets more than 15 minutes on the phone, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, you will even hear, I think, during the interview, a automated voice just sort of interjecting at different points how much time is left and the fact that and what prison he's calling from.
Right. And he also is responsible for.
Appreciate
he's absolutely. He's also responsible for. He's got like a $900,000 fine Now, I don't know if that was a function. Supposedly, he had some type of book deal. I don't know. I'm going to talk to him about that. But it's also been sort of striking to me on, just sort of how little attention in the media it got. And I think part of it is because it's just so obtuse. I don't know that people can wrap their heads around it. I mean, I read the stuff, and it's very difficult to understand what went down here. And I think part of it is because a lot of this stuff was sealed. Part of it is yet to be released. So I think we'll ultimately get a better sense of this. But we're going to talk to him to the extent that we can this afternoon, and then we will play it sometime next week.